Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look here at Holochain, which is hot. And just before we do, just know I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. If you're new to the channel, I've been trading for a very long time, over 15 years now, and my goal is to help you become more of an effective trader. I have a trading community. If you're interested in kind of developing your skills and becoming better, I actually send out signals for every single trade that I take as well. So it's an awesome experience. We've got trading bots, the whole 9 yards. It's actually quite advanced. I'm really happy and stoked about it. Now, moving forward here regarding Bitcoin, just a quick little perspective because you always got to look at Bitcoin first if you're a good trader. That's just my foundation. And simply put, we've got a strong support level at 60,000. It's holding pretty continuously. I thought it was going to break below here a moment ago because the more often you test a support or resistance level, the more likely it is to break. But Bitcoin's got another thought right now. So we're seeing the price trend back up to 61,000. But just know 58 to 60 is a support level, and 65 to 66 is a resistance level. That's basically the channels that we have currently. Moving averages are still far enough away to not really matter. Moving on to Holochain. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. And I can see why I got the request. Definitely a pretty significant increase. May not seem like much compared to what it's done before, but this one has definite potential. So let's take a quick look here. So first of all, we got the moving averages here. Price is above both. That's excellent. So it broke above that. We also have the price, excuse me, right over 70. So the RSI peaking up over 70. We've got plenty of room for growth, not a problem at all. As you can see, it's done very well when it goes up over 70. It has days on end that it'll continue. It has strong continuation qualities. But the important thing here is that the price is up over 50 and it's held above 50, which is effectively a support level within the RSI. All right, so good enough there for that. Nothing to worry about there on the MACD. Let's take a quick look at the 4-hour chart, see what's going on. Now we can kind of see, obviously, that we're not quite to this major resistance level yet, but it is making some pretty good progress. Obviously up over 70 on the RSI, pretty standard. So really not much to extract on the 4-hour chart, but I do want to bounce back to the 1-day chart and just kind of draw some lines here. Make sure that we have the resistance levels kind of plotted out so we know how much more growth we have potential here. Because oftentimes when you break these resistance levels, the price will progress up much faster and harder because there's not much, outside of some of this price action here. There's really not a lot of support and resistance levels that we can really rely on if we go that far back. But if we look right now, we can see this nice little, we're making higher highs, and more importantly, we got this little ascending pattern here. So typically when we have an ascending pattern there, that's kind of a continuation, bullish continuation, it really helps us understand that we're on the right track there. So there's a good chance we'll probably see that essentially, come to fruition where the price will break to the upside. It might not happen right away, but it will eventually. Okay. Now I feel as if it's going to continue to progress upwards. And the main reason why is because if you see how well it's done in the last 24 hours, and you compare this with just say Bitcoin, for example, right? We have a red day candlestick for Bitcoin yesterday. However, there's a strong bullish continuation here today on the same day that Bitcoin sells off, right? So that's typically a very good sign when a coin can move independent of Bitcoin. This is happening based on the fact that altcoin season is basically right on the horizon. We're seeing a lot of large market capitalization coins, top 100s. I believe this is just under 100. They're actually adopting a lot of that market capitalization, that dominance from Bitcoin as the price comes away from Bitcoin and funnels into the altcoins. Because what happens is when Bitcoin starts getting media attention, which it did recently, a lot of money comes into Bitcoin. People don't want to miss out. Then the price comes down, people sell their Bitcoin and put it into altcoins. This happens quite frequently, and that's basically what's happening here with Holo, which is great. But that basically tells us that we are on pretty good shape here, and pretty good shape essentially to see a continuation. Now let's just take a quick look at some retracement lines, just in case the price were to come back down. Roughly what can we rely on? So we got a pretty strong, actually when we look at here, got a nice little support level here. So I like this one. So we're looking at what? That is about 11.3 cents is a close approximate. And then we've also got 0.5. I like this one as well. This works as a pretty consistent support level. So we'll go ahead and mark that guy there, which is basically 10.5 cents. So 10.5 to 11.4 is the channel there for support if the price were to essentially continue to retrace back down. Now, big picture as well on this little run, right? If we were to kind of go with continuation, say it just continues up the way that it could, right? In other words, it's done it before in the past where you got this really strong increase. Look at that, day one, day two, it's almost looking similar, right? So when we have that kind of increase, and just say it were to continue on the same way, we have these resistance levels here. So what we can do is we can move this down a little bit to go ahead and match the Fibonacci retracement. And best case scenario, I would say we're looking at about 15.8 cents in the next week or two, right? So say the price were to continue to progress upwards as it has in the past, then we're going to see the price essentially at this point, move up to that level if it breaks this resistance level here and breaks out, right? Now there's no guarantees that's going to happen, but it is kind of shaping up to look like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the price were to kind of come up closer to say, 0.16, or sorry, 0.016, I apologize, or 1.6 cents essentially. That's where it could effectively get to if it were to continue on the same progression as it has before. Okay. But the bottom line here is this has a lot of good qualities. The last thing we want to take a quick look at here, and we'll call it a day, is just the kind of see where the cloud is at. Of course, we do have this as a potential support level. It's obviously going to be below here, but it is good to look at to kind of see if the price were to retrace. We have that as a secondary support level, because in a nice bull run, you'll see the cloud get continuously tested and then essentially leave the price above. It works almost as a support level, very similar to the EMA 15 on, say, for example, the 15-minute chart. So it kind of works like that. Moving on as well, we can take a quick look at TD sequential here. And this is nice. I like this because even though we have this massive increase, right, you see that there's enough time here, basically a 5-hour period where there was a reset. So instead of losing momentum, it can continue to the upside based on the fact that it has enough consolidation sideways just above support to effectively be able to not only retain that as a support, but perhaps even bounce and continue upwards, right? So I think there's a strong chance we're going to see this one continue to at least test, what is it, the resistance level here at about just say 0.013. So 1.3 cents is what we're expecting to see the resistance level become. So we should see us progress up here and possibly kind of stay below that until it breaks up as an ascending wedge typically does, or it could break above, hold its support there, and then push up to 1.6 cents later, right? Or fairly soon, honestly. The way that this is progressing is still very healthy, and there is nothing that I see here that is, cautious, so to speak. Nothing that tells me we need to pump the brakes. Normally, I like to say that and to be more conservative based on the fact that we have a 20% increase in a 1-hour candlestick, right? That's normally a recipe for disaster, but it's since then corrected itself and is working very well. So again, 1.6 cents I think is very likely within the next 2 to 4 weeks. It could actually happen a lot sooner, but I want to say 2 to 4 weeks based on the fact that if this is a healthy run, we don't want a significant retracement. We want to see some short periods of consolidation like the one we saw here. So we want to have longer consolidation. So 5 hours isn't quite enough. I would say a full 24 hours is good. So that way we can get that next leg up to test the resistance there at roughly 1.3 and then progress on to 1.6. Okay, but year end, I am confident in saying that this has great potential to match its all-time high. So I think 0.03 is very realistic in the grand scheme of things. But for right now, more immediate, I think we got to kind of see how the price holds on to this support level here. And once it breaks this little resistance here, roughly at about 13 or 1.3 rather, then we're going to be able to see it push up even further and faster. Yeah. So if you like what you see here, feel free to join. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure you're probably a return viewer. Thank you so much, by the way, to all my patrons, everyone that's ever shown me support since I created this channel 6 months ago. It's been an awesome ride. I'm looking forward to the next 15,000 subscribers. And obviously, if you are interested in having a leg up, or somebody like myself, walking alongside you, helping you in this crypto journey, join my Telegram community. I actually have a patron community, of course, that allows for you to share all the signals that I have. And of course, just make sure that we all learn and grow together. It's a great experience, live chat, the whole 9 yards. I have a descriptive video. Check that out in your own time. But either way, thank you so much. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Be safe.